Members of the president's team holding high-stakes talks with Iran in Oman today. This as the administration touts its ongoing tariff negotiations with a number of U.S. trading partners. Lucas Tomlinson, live at the White House with more from the North Lawn. Hey, LT.
Well, good afternoon, Kevin. Speaking of gracious, if you're in the market for a new smartphone or computer or other electronics, the Trump administration is now saying they're giving an exemption to those items with its massive tariffs on China. And here was the president last night aboard Air Force One on his way to Palm Beach, talking about what many are calling a trade war with China.
We're very strong. We're making billions of dollars a day. We were losing billions of dollars a day. This is in a period of 2 weeks. We're making billions of dollars a day. China now is losing billions of dollars. I don't want them to lose money, but they're losing billions, and we're making billions.
Now, fresh off talks with Vladimir Putin in Moscow, President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff just wrapped up talks with Iranian officials. You can see one of them here in Oman. It's the first time in 10 years, Kevin, the U.S. and Iran have sat down for talks. Iran's foreign minister called the discussions constructive and promising. Oman's top diplomat, who hosted both leaders in Oman, said, quote, "I would like to thank my two colleagues for this engagement, which took place in a friendly atmosphere, conducive to bridging viewpoints and ultimately achieving regional and global peace, security, and stability. We will continue to work together and put further efforts to assist in arriving at this goal." And here was President Trump once again aboard Air Force One talking about what he wants to see from Iran.
I want them not to have a nuclear weapon. I want Iran to be a wonderful, great, happy country. But they can't have a nuclear weapon. And we're negotiating with them on Saturday. We have a big meeting with them.
Now, Iranian officials said after the 2-hour meeting in Oman they'd like to meet again next week. In terms of negotiating, you'll now have a second aircraft carrier strike group in the Middle East. That's the Vincent Strike Group. You also have those 6 B-2 stealth bombers on the island of Diego Garcia that have been carrying out strikes against Iran's proxy force in Yemen, the Houthis, Kevin.
Very active in the region. LT starting us off this hour. Lucas Tomlinson, thank you, my friend. Appreciate that. A major win for the Trump administration as a Louisiana immigration judge rules that Mahmoud Khalil can be removed from the U.S. for leading what has been described as anti-Semitic pro-Palestinian protests. Correspondent C.B. Cotton live in New York, where apparently there are even more protests planned in support of Mr. Khalil. Hey, C.B.
Hey, Kevin, that's right. And we're going to be monitoring those protests slated for Times Square this evening. But, you know, attorneys for the Columbia graduate and green card holder Mahmoud Khalil, they are now gearing up for a legal fight to try and keep him in the country after this immigration judge ruled he can be deported. The judge said the government had met the burden of evidence via a memo from Secretary of State Marco Rubio, where he cited a provision in the Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, which allows his role to deport non-citizens if the secretary determines their presence in the U.S. would have serious adverse foreign policy consequences. In this memo, Rubio essentially argued that Khalil's presence enabled anti-Semitism. So during yesterday's nearly 2-hour-long hearing, Department of Homeland Security attorneys also spoke about how Khalil misrepresented himself on his green card application. Those attorneys said that Khalil was just not upfront about some of the organizations he was involved with. Khalil's attorneys fought back on that in court, trying to argue against those allegations. Now his defense team is slamming the judge's ruling.
The judge had made up her mind in advance and simply read from a pre-written statement. Judge didn't care about the Constitution, didn't care about legal process, didn't care about fairness to Mahmoud or the lawyers, and didn't care about the validity of the evidence.
So, Kevin, Khalil's attorneys have until April 23rd to file for relief. And like you mentioned, the judge's decision is being considered a win for the Trump administration. And it could also serve as a predictor for others who have had their student visas or green cards revoked. Back to you.
Could be a harbinger of things to come. C.B. Cotton in New York. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate that.